Hi, and welcome to FreshMind.com. My name is Eric, and this is part 2 of our DVD drawer. Now, we are ready to add some feet and work on our door some more. Let's go ahead and do the door. I'm going to go ahead and pull the door up, and actually it looks like we extruded that when we extruded the inside of our DVD drawer. So let me go ahead and delete some of these faces here. It looks like we've got some on the edge. I'm going to select a face, shift double click on another face beside it. It selects them all the way around, delete. Alright, this is what I want. Shift, right click, insert edge loop tool, options box, reset. I'm going to click on this multiple edge loops. I'm going to change the number of edge loops to 1, and that's going to allow us to put one edge loop right in the center. W to get out of the tool, F8. Let me smooth shade that again. Alright, I'm going to do an extrude, so polygon menu set, edit mesh, extrude. I'm going to click on this little handle and then look for the blue arrow and pull it out to give some thickness. Something about like that. Object mode, shift right click, insert edge loop tool. I'm going to put one. Alright, let's reset our tool here. I'm going to put one on this end and one on this side. And I'm going to delete the one in the middle. So I'm just going to double click on it. Edit mesh, delete edge vertex. Alright, smooth shade. There's our door. Now it's a little flat, so I'm going to select, let's do this, let's go to our animation menu set, just like we did for our the body of it. I'm going to go up to create deformers, lattice. I'm going to open up the channel box. Under the shape nodes you'll see our lattice, and I'm going to change the F divisions to 3. I'm going to right click somewhere in the view panel, select lattice point, and now I'm going to select all 3 of these middle and just pull that just a little bit, just to give it so it's not so flat. So maybe something about like that. Select the object in object mode, edit, delete by type, history. Gets rid of the lattice. Alright, I'm going to go to a side view, take a look at this. Alright, I'm going to select, make sure I get it, oops, both of those. Just going to pull that in a little bit. And I think everything else looks good. Alright. So there's our door. Let's see how it's going to fit. I'm going to have it inset just a little bit, maybe not quite that much. Alright, looks like it's kind of tight at the bottom, maybe even the top. I'm just going to select the whole object, just shrink it down a little bit until I can see the top and the bottom. There we go. And then I'm going to select all the vertices except the bottom vertices and the top vertices, and I'm going to scale those this way until it fits about the same. So right like that. Looks like maybe this top row here, I might pull it out a little more. Alright, there we go. So we got a nice fit there. Alright, let's pull this away. I'm going to go ahead and do a file, save scene as, and let's call this one DVD drawer underscore 2. Alright, this next part is going to be kind of tedious, and I'm going to try to move quickly but not too fast that you can't follow along. But it's probably going to take a little bit of time, even though it's going to be really simple. What we're going to do is we're going to create, there's like a hinge on the side of this thing and kind of like a swivel at the bottom, kind of like a pin, like a door hinge. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and do the hinge first, or the little bottom. I'll call it a swivel, and we'll call the side one a hinge. Let's create a polygon cylinder. I'm going to raise it up. Let me zoom in on this. I'm going to select these top faces. Do an extrude, so polygons, edit mesh, extrude, keep faces together turned on, extrude. It's just easy for me that I just kind of move inside this view panel just to make sure the view panel is activated, and then just hit the letter R for the scale tool, and now I can just scale this in. I just want kind of an edge going on there because it's going to be easier to do it now than to do it later. Alright, I'm going to select all these bottom faces and delete them. I'm going to delete half of this. Go to edge select mode, and I'm going to select all these edges on this back side. This all makes sense to you here in very soon. I'm going to do an extrude. I'm going to click on this handle to make sure that we're in world coordinates. And I'm going to grab the blue handle now and pull this back. Now I'm going to pull it back far enough so that this could be a complete circle, and then a little bit extra. So basically this side is a little bit longer than this side. Alright, good. Object mode, extrude, look for the blue handle, and just pull it the direction of the handle just to give it some thickness. Now you want to pull in the direction of the handle, that way you don't reverse the faces. If you go the opposite direction, then your faces are going to be turned inside out, just like if you were wearing a t-shirt inside out. So we want our geometry to be the right way, so I'm pulling forward, or in the direction of the arrow. Alright, don't be afraid to go too thick right there. Okay, if we do a smooth preview on this, you'll see how these edges are holding nicely, and that's because we did that extrude. But we want this to hold nicely too, and I want these to be a little bit sharper edges. So shift right click, insert edge look tool, put one across the back, and I'm going to put one up here at the top and one down here at the bottom. So now if we go to object mode and do a smooth preview, you can see we've got some nice looking geometry there. Looks really clean, really nice. Alright, let's give this a name. I'm going to call it door swivel. Delete the history on it, edit delete by type history. Whoops, history. Okay, let's move our manipulator handle into the center of our object. So modify center pivot, and let's rotate this around the right way. So I need to rotate around Z 90 degrees and around X 180. Alright. I'm going to go to a side view and do this, probably a little bit quicker. Hit F to frame in on it. There it is. Alright, this thing is actually pretty small, so maybe something about like, maybe a little bigger than that. I think that's pretty good. That looks about right there. It's actually pretty small, so just like it is. And it's pretty close to the bottom. I'm going to move this to the side. I'm going to go as far as I can without it moving off the door. So just like that. Maybe a little further in. There we go. Alright, so that's what we want. I'm going to go and modify freeze transformations on it. I'm going to do a save. Alright, so now let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and duplicate it. Let's go and make it on the other side. So Control D to duplicate it. I'm going to do Control G, and if I pull up my manipulator handle, you'll see that by grouping it on itself, it puts the manipulator handle in the center of our object since it's lined up with our grid. So now over in your channel box, I can type in scale -1 in the X direction, and it creates a duplicate on the opposite side. Alright, now I'm going to go into the channel box, or the outliner. I'm going to expand that group, and there's our door swivel. I'm just going to middle mouse drag it out of the group, and then I'm going to delete the group. And here we've got something else grouped. Oh, the body and the door. I'm just going to middle mouse drag those out of the group and do the same thing. Delete the cube. Alright, save. Alright, let's do, this is going to be more complicated, but it's actually very easy. It's probably just going to take a little bit of time to do this. There's kind of like a fancy looking hinge on the side. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see, how do we want to do this? It's kind of like a half pie shape, so we're going to create a cylinder. I'm going to zoom in. Since we're only using a quarter of the pie, rather not half, a quarter of the pie, I'm going to add some more divisions. So let's just double that. Let's make it, oops, we'll just make it 40. It's already 20, so we'll just make it 40. Alright, I'm going to delete, let's see, let's select all these top faces. I'm going to do an extrude, edit mesh, extrude. Use the scale tool and just pull this in a little bit. Use do extrude again, scale tool, maybe kind of a bigger section there. Extrude again, scale tool, extrude, scale, and let's do one more extrude and scale that end just so that we can hold the corner of this a little bit better. Alright, let's see if, okay, I got lucky there. I should have checked it before to make sure we had an edge lined up 90-degree angle right there, which we do, so that worked out good. Alright, I'm going to delete half these and half again. Alright, so you should end up with something like this right here. Go to object mode, and I'm going to stretch this out a little bit in this direction. Alright, so something about like that. Now we're going to do, okay, let me delete all these other faces. We don't need all this. Alright, there we go. Delete the history, edit, delete by type history. Alright, let's delete some more faces here. Let's see. I'm going to delete those right there. And I'm going to delete, let's say 4 right there. So something like that. We got a long and then a smaller hole on the inside. Alright, now before we do anything else, let's go ahead and get our manipulator handle back up there. So modify center pivot. And let's go ahead and move this into place. So I'm going to put it close over here to our door. Need to rotate this negative 90 in the Z direction. Go to a side view so I can kind of see this. Alright, it needs to be bigger, I think. Should be something about like that right there. And that looks pretty good. So yeah, something about like that right there.